Here we go.
Welcome to ImVibes Podcast, home of good music, good libations, and good vibes. Now here is your host, Eric Millets, and producer, Ernest Stevenson.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of ImVibes Podcast. Of course, we're back home at Tommy's Pub, where we always are. Never fuck's the word I'm thinking of? Anyway, whatever. Never going anywhere else but Tommy's Pub. We got some special guests today in the house. Band from Tennessee, Wyndrider. We saw you guys play last night at the festival out at the Milestone. First of all, every single fucking band last night kicked ass. Everybody. I mean, there wasn't one band that sucked at all. Everyone last night was awesome. The band that played before you guys, God Size. Wow, we were not expecting that, man. We walked in there, they were awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna try and get those guys on the podcast at some point. So, if you guys wouldn't mind introducing yourselves and telling everyone what you guys do in the band. So,
I'm Robbie. I play guitar and stay on probation.
I'm Chloe. I do the vocals.
I'm Garth. I'm the lead bass player.
I'm Josh. I play drums and talk shit.
So you guys are from Johnson City, right?
Yeah, roundabout.
Yeah. Brent over here, the guy behind us here, he was the one who actually got me onto you guys, and he told me about you guys, and we listened to some one Friday night in my garage, and I was like, wow, these guys are awesome, man. You guys just put out a new album, right?
Yeah, about 2 months ago now, I guess. A Revival. It's our second album, but it seems to be going pretty well so far.
It sounds good. You guys played a lot of songs off it last night. So
yeah.
When did the band start, and who got it started? Who was
I'm the instigator.
Yeah.
I broke my arm, and I didn't know if I was going to be able to play guitar again. But I started playing guitar with a cast on, and then I was like, I'm going to play the music that I really want to play instead of just being in bands to be in a band.
Yeah.
So I talked her into singing and convinced these other dicks to help us out.
How long have we been a band now, though? It's like 2.5.
Almost 3 years.
Almost 3.
Close
Almost
to
3 years.
Okay. 3 years and 2 albums. Oh,
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah.
We really didn't play our first show until
2022.
March of 2022. So before that point, it was just, jamming, essentially.
Yeah.
And we did used to have a different drummer for the very first like half a year or so before we got Josh. But he was actually supposed to be our drummer before our other drummer, Richard. And he was like, no, I've got too much going on, and we were like, motherfucker, like, come on. And it's funny how things kind of come full circle.
Yeah, it is. It's hot. Not as hot as it was in the Milestone last night, though.
Yeah.
Every band out there on stage was dying, man. I thought old dude from God Size was going to pass out there on stage, man.
Will, the singer?
Yeah,
he gets wild.
Yeah.
I will say there were more Box fans this time at the Milestone than the last time we played there. I thought I was going to pass out, puke, not really sure what, and I noticed that they upped the air conditioning attempt, at least for...
That's the only thing that venue's missing is air conditioning.
Yeah. Maybe it's just part of it. Like, you got to suffer to really hear the good shit at the Milestone.
There has been quite a few shows. I've since had to retire from the mosh pit days, but going in there in the middle of August and going crazy in that mosh pit, you got to take a break and go outside and catch your breath, man, because you will fucking pass out in that place.
Sure.
But the drinks in that place are awesome. I mean, I drank a lot last night. My tab was only like $45. I was like, oh shit, that's awesome, man.
It was a fantastic show. I love all of the bands we had seen or played with. Several of the bands on the bill already. We've played with Mean Green and Doomsday Prophet and who else on there? God Size, obviously they're back. They're from roundabouts where we're from. And then there's, other bands that we just were so excited to check out on the bill, like Satan Satyrs. That was fucking phenomenal.
Yeah. I wasn't expecting that. And then they came out on stage. I was like, this dude's for real, man.
Yeah. Fucking rock and roll.
Yeah. Shit, I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, the biggest stack from last night out of all the bands, Mean Green. They're fucking stack. I was outside and I walked in. I was like, oh shit! Oh goddamn! Oh, yeah. It's like, okay. I had never seen them, never even heard of them before, so that was cool to see them.
Yeah.
Ernest and I were talking earlier about, what if this band member went to that band and did this, and that would make an awesome band. Like all these other members from all these other bands could come together and make this other mega band, mega doom band. That'd be awesome.
That happens
the
a lot.
Doom band draft.
Yeah.
Haven't we talked about that before? Like a fantasy football type thing, except you're just putting doom bands together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be hard to do back home, like where we talked about our friends, because so many people are in 7 bands, it seems like.
Yeah.
And play drums in one band, bass in another band, sing in one band, show up to the wrong practice on Thursdays,
That happens here in Charlotte, too. There are a lot of bands that, you'll see. So, No Anger Control, they also have members in a band called the Southside Punks. And almost every time I go to the Milestone, one member of No Anger Control is in some band in some way at some show at the Milestone all the time.
Not yesterday.
Oh, sorry?
Didn't see any of them yesterday.
Yeah. Yep. Except for yesterday. I didn't see anyone from No Anger Control yesterday.
That's what I said.
Yeah. Okay. However, I did notice that somebody stapled their record to the ceiling on the stage. I don't know if you guys saw that yesterday. I was standing there.
No, that's wild.
And I looked up. I'm like, damn, somebody got up there and stapled that to the fucking ceiling. That's awesome.
That's funny. One of the guys from back our way, actually, the band Nerve Endings plays at the Milestone a shit ton. Jared Rogers, he's a super good friend of ours. And he's one of those guys that's in like 50,000 bands back home. Robbie's always talking about like, there's him and one other guy in the Johnson City scene that they'll sub in for other members in different bands sometimes, or they're just in 5 bands. They'll both show up to shows and be like, you're on this bill? I didn't know you played in this band.
Yeah.
Or, no, I'm just filling in for this guy. Well, I'm just filling
flyers and like tally up like, okay, he's in 4 bands this month. He's playing 6 times next month.
Yeah. And it's always the drummers, which we're lucky to have swiped our drummer and kept him busy enough to where he can't be in 5 other bands.
Yeah.
We get to keep him all to ourselves.
How do you guys like the Milestone? I mean, I don't know if you guys know, that's like a very influential and legendary venue. We were talking with the owner last night, and they're putting out a documentary here soon, because we almost lost him during COVID. That place almost closed and got torn down and demolished. But the owner now, I don't know what he did or how he did it, but he come up with the funds to fix up that place and keep it going. And we're very thankful to have a place like the Milestone here in town, man.
I love it.
Yeah.
Like I had been to shows there before, but never had got to play there until I think June of this year is when we played there.
Yeah. Last time.
The Milestone is like the type of bar that I like to be in. I mean, it's like a safe space for psychos.
It is.
It's amazing to me how much music history has taken place even just in the one bar.
Right.
Like, and I'm probably not privy to it all because we're really not from the area, but just even the stories that I've heard, the Bad Brains autograph like framed on the wall.
That's actually, that was put there by Bad Brains.
Yeah, exactly.
REM sleeping on stage and all this stuff.
Yeah, it's crazy the kind of stories we've heard about the place, and it's awesome that we've finally gotten to play there twice now.
Yeah. I moved down here summer of 96. My first show there, I walked in, I'm like, I don't know about this place, I don't know. And I think I went to go see Penguin 5 and a bunch of other bands that were big back in the 90s here in town. Punk scene was awesome back then too. But I've got friends who've seen Black Flag there and Nirvana there and Green Day play at the fucking Milestone. I'm like, wow, that was back when they weren't that big yet. But I mean, I wish I was here for that shit, man. I'm jealous. I mean, I've seen all those bands since then, but never in a venue like that. I like that smaller venue type of deal, though, man. I can't stand big venues being on the lawn.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
A mile away from the show. Yeah, I'm taking my wife to go see 30 Seconds to Mars on Tuesday. I'm not a big fan of him, but she loves Jared Leto, so I was like, maybe I'll get lucky that night. Who knows, And I've never seen. I don't know if you guys like punk at all, but it's weird. Like AFI is opening for him.
That's wild.
Yeah, I was like, all right, cool. I guess I'll finally get to see AFI. I mean, I've never seen them. I can't say that they've ever come here and just played by themselves.
Maybe they'll play something from when they were actually a punk band.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Like the what's that? Serial Killer Days. The first AFI song I heard was on that Beer Nuts compilation back in the 90s, man. Yeah. Yeah. It was it that? Serial Killer song? Something like that? Yeah. Something like that. I forget what song that was, but yeah. Good old AFI. Yeah. Then early 2000s, they started putting out some more poppier stuff. Yeah. So where do you guys record your records at? Who does your...
Danielle Fair with the Wizard Productions. It's in Bristol. She absolutely kills everything she touches, but she has a really good ear for like stoner and doom music.
Okay.
And we come in and tell her, this is kind of what we're shooting for. Mm-hmm. And then we play live and record it that way. And she manipulates what she has to do. And I mean, you get what you get. We don't want to bullshit anybody when we record. Okay. So we don't add a bunch of extra nonsense into it. We just play it. And if you come to see us at a show, we're going to play it faster and sloppier, but it's pretty much the same way that we go record.
We were talking last night, and me and Brent were like, you guys kind of remind me of like a female-fronted Black Sabbath.
God bless you.
Yes. Seriously. I was like, I was like, maybe a female-fronted Clutch. And then we were talking like, nah, Sabbath, man. Sabbath, definitely, yeah. I'm a huge Black Sabbath fan, man. War Pigs is by far my favorite metal song of all time.
Yeah.
We were talking about Sabbath last night. He goes, I was wearing my Sabbath shirt. He goes, name 3 songs. And I'm like, I'll try and go deep on this one because I'm not just going to go paranoid War Pigs. And, so I was like, Panties Wear Boots, Super Knot, and I forget what else I said. But anyways.
We've been called a Sabbath worship band.
I've got that
a lot of fucking times.
Yeah. I didn't know they named him Henry.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was like, okay, well, that was cool. When I was getting the tattoo, I was shocked my tattoo artist didn't know what it was. And he goes, what is that? I'm like, that's Henry from Black Sabbath. That's their logo.
I was going to get the Led Zeppelin one too, but I ain't a really big fan of Led Zeppelin. So
I like Zeppelin, and I don't know. I know Robert Plant and Nelson Krauss were just in town, and I fucking missed that.
Robert Plant ruins it for me.
I've never seen any member of Led. I'm sorry. I think I saw John Paul Jones play with Dave Grohl and the Crooked Vultures, but that's the closest I've ever come to seeing anything from Led Zeppelin. So
Robert Plant's goddamn iconic. Fuck you.
He is. So you guys are heading out after this to go to Georgia?
Yeah, we're
Okay.
in Tucker, Georgia, right outside Atlanta tonight at Moon Shadow Tavern.
All right.
We're playing with some friends of ours, Stone Man and Dayglow Morning, which we've not played with Dayglow before, but Stone Man we've played with a handful of times.
Okay.
Super cool dudes, and it's going to be a really fun show.
Stone Man are the originators of the Wyndrider smoked all my weed stickers.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There's a big story behind that. I won't rat them out on a podcast, but they know.
You just did.
Yeah, sort of.
We'll just keep it cryptic, you know.
Yeah. That's funny.
That was the first time we were in Atlanta too, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Then we played with Stone Man. Yeah.
And we smoked all their weed.
Yeah. That's basically the story.
Brent, the first time he saw you guys, he brought me your patch that said Wyndrider smoked all my weed. And I was like, cool. I still have it. I mean, I don't know if you guys saw my vest last night. There's no room for anything else.
Oh, yeah, I saw it.
I'm working on a new one. I might start a new one. It's just weird. I don't want to start a new one. I don't want to make a new vest. I don't know.
You got to start on like a quilt or something.
It's like the milestone walls where they just put flyers on top of flyers on top of flyers.
Yeah, you
just
can
do that
do
with
that.
patches.
There's just piles and piles of stickers on that thing. I mean, we put our sticker on stuff and then we go back and there's something else over it.
I tried to get one of our flyers the first time we played, and when I took it, I ended up with like 6 other flyers, which was cool because one of them was Andy the Door Bum, and we love Andy.
Oh, yeah.
He literally brought back a pile and they're all taped together, you know.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, here, you know, you can frame it, but you're going to have to like peel them apart from everyone else's shows as well.
We put our set lists on Playboys, so I put the centerfold on the
I
wall.
saw that last night. I was like,
hopefully it gets some cool
is
shit
that
stuck
a
to it.
Nudie Mag page down there? Yeah. You look really happy about that.
We've been doing that for literally since this band started. It was his idea, but it's one of the coolest ideas, I think. Everybody likes titties. I mean, shit.
I mean, Playboy doesn't make nudie mags anymore, so you got to find old vintage ones, right? Yeah.
We don't use like the super old ones.
Yeah.
I honestly don't have a heart to. We have some really fucking old like 70s Playboys, like super cool. We'll use like the early 2000s ones and stuff. It started off because we acquired a giant box of them for some reason, and we were like, oh, we're gonna use this for like collages or art or some shit, and we just had them in our house. And he was like, what if we started using those for set lists? But everyone gets really excited, you know, when they're like, "Oh, I want their set list." Oh my god, it has boobs! Like
I saw it on your merch table last night, and I almost asked for one, but I was like, "Nah, it's all right."
If you see them, just take them.
Okay. I have a man cave garage, and I have set lists all over the place in there, and people are like, "What is that?" And I'm like, "It's a set list." They're like, "Can you even read what those words are?" I'm like, "No." Most bands just abbreviate the songs.
Got them here.
Yeah, they're all behind us here too.
yeah.
Yeah, a lot of cool ass bands play here too, man. So, band you guys played with last time you were in town, Bog Loaf. Again, I got their shirt on today. I'm not. They played here not too long ago. Matter of fact, last time I saw them, they opened for Nerve Endings. At Snug Harbor. So if you guys ever have a chance to come play Snug Harbor.
We actually played Snug. The second time we came to Charlotte, we got to play over there.
Yeah.
Place is dope.
That place is awesome. I'm glad they finally got down with the times, because that place always like shows like headlining bands would go on at like 1:00 in the morning on like a Tuesday, but they've changed when the show started now. So
It's getting a little bit earlier.
Yeah, because I mean, we went and saw Nebula and Atomic Pitchwax, and I mean, Nebula played till like 2:00 in the morning.
Damn.
And I'm like, God damn, I gotta fucking work tomorrow, man. Jesus.
I can't really comment on that too much, except that back in Johnson City, you will never see a headlining band going on before like 1 a.m.
They're still on punk time.
Whenever we started traveling out for shows, I was actually very surprised to see shows starting at like 8 p.m. You know, we're used to like a solid 11 p.m. start time.
The flyers say 10 p.m., but it's 11 or 11:30 sometimes. It's getting a little tighter. But yeah, they never start at 10 o'clock.
Yeah. Well, the last show Ernest and I went and saw at the Milestone, that show didn't end until 1 o'clock in the morning. And that was a Sunday night. And I mean, I was dragging ass that next day at work. I mean, I'm 50 years old now, and I still think I'm in my 20s. So, I'll go to a show, but man, I'll be fine. I didn't drink that much. Wake up the next morning. Hardest part of the day is getting out of bed, It's like, man, yes, all right. 5 more minutes. Oh, shit, it's 7:30. There's that old saying, if you're laying in bed and you close your eyes for 5 minutes, the time goes by quick. But, if you're waiting for 5 minutes at work, it goes by really slow.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. I never did talk about what I was drinking today, man. I got something new here today, man. Jamie brought in some Doc's hard cider sour cherry. So normally when we start the podcast, I know everyone was out late drinking last night, so I don't expect you guys to drink with us today. But we normally start out with, what are you drinking? So there's no shots today. I'm not drinking any liquor today, man. It's all this might be my only drink for the whole day. Doc's hard cider. Sour cherry.
Just wanted to get you going.
Yeah.
We're drinking
water and Red Bull.
Lots of caffeine, as much as possible, honestly. And
I'm a caffeine junkie, man. I
am too.
I'll drink yerba mate in the morning, and then a coffee, and then another yerba mate later on in the day, man. I got to keep it going, man. That's sucks.
I actually spilled Robbie's coffee all over him on the way here this morning. So he's on Red
my
Bull.
first coffee's in my boot right now.
But normally, yes, we are heavy coffee consumers as well.
Brent was telling me a story when he went to go see you guys in Tennessee that he was trying to get in with shorts on or something.
It was like athletic pants, and they considered them jogging pants. So we the band we were playing with, Pond Digger, Dakota had some extra clothes with him, so he got to borrow our homie's pants so he could come to the show. I was like, don't fucking leave. We're gonna get you in somehow.
That's awesome. See, not many bands would do that shit. So
I mean, if you're coming from hours away,
to
see a show, I'll give you my fucking pants.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I need 3 cover songs from each of you.
I'll go ahead and start that off.
He's been thinking this whole time about
I have.
it. That's why it was so.
There's a fucking
quiet.
shitload, but I'm gonna say Ost Earth does a cover of "Burning for You" by Blue Oyster Cult.
Ooh,
That's a really good cover.
That. Okay,
fuck you if you don't like Ost Earth. Testament does "Animal Magnetism" from Scorpion.
Yep.
And like I said, I'm not a fan of Led Zeppelin, but Great White, they did a whole live tribute album of Led Zeppelin. And it's better than Led Zeppelin, in my opinion. Yeah. And rest in peace to Jack Russell that just died a few days ago. I love Great White. And if you do like Led Zeppelin, I suggest you highly check that out because they do such a great job. But if you're not like if you've seen it, you would know it's Great White. But if you're just listening to it, you would actually think it's actually Led Zeppelin. Really? They do that good of a job at covering their music. So I definitely would suggest to check out that whole album.
I certainly will. That's the old school stuff, man.
Yeah, it's great.
By the way, I loved your lobster shirt last night, man.
Thank you.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's from Seinfeld episode. Kramer wears that shirt. So.
He's the rock lobster. He's the real rock lobster.
You beat me to it, man.
Do you have cover songs?
Cover songs. I've been thinking. I like Death's cover of "Painkiller" by Judas Priest. That's pretty rad.
Hey, that's a good one.
And I heard I was on YouTube once listening to Acid Bath and heard they did a cover of "Lord of This World" by Black Sabbath.
Ooh,
it's a pretty good one. Pretty good one. And I like Metallica's covers a lot too. "Turn the Page" is a good one. It's a good one.
That was one that was not in the original Garage Days. That was on the double album. Yeah. Which they never played live, but I guess the last time they were in Charlotte, they played that.
Really?
They played "Turn the Page." Yeah. So
This is going to show how well I work under pressure because I wasn't thinking about it as much as I should have been. I will say,
take your time. It's all right. We don't have to do all 3 songs if you don't have 3.
Very much in a different vein from some of the ones I just said. I really like Weezer's cover of Africa by Toto.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Wyndrider's looking for a new singer after that comment. So if anybody's interested, just hit us up.
And then here's an even worse one. I really like Disturbed's cover of Sound of Silence.
Yeah.
You're
No,
fired.
I don't like Disturbed, but I like that cover.
Yeah.
And then, I don't have anything else, but I will say that a good band friend of ours, Storm Toker from Kentucky, I once heard them try to cover Hand of Doom and For Whom the Bell Tolls about 50,000 times drunk off their ass, and they only got like the first part of it done, and then they'd start over because they would forget like what was going on. That was good.
It was a hard night.
Yeah. Wait a minute. That song started over? Wait, hold on. Is there a record skipping in here or something? Yeah.
It would be like really good and really strong, and then it would just devolve into utter madness and then repeat. So that has to be my favorite.
Yeah.
Oh shit! How much time you got?
Go ahead.
Okay, let's see. Corrosion of Conformity's cover of On the Hunt is really good.
Yes.
CLC is a favorite of mine, man.
I really like Guns N' Roses cover of Hair of the Dog.
Mm-hmm.
That one's pretty
Now
solid.
you're messing
Oh
with
yeah,
it.
I fucking love Nazareth.
Yeah.
Thanks to my dad for getting me hooked on that shit when I was a
I will
kid.
never forget in middle school riding with my neighbor to school and he was playing that song.
Yeah.
I was like, what is this? He's like, man, this is Nazareth. I'm like, oh shit, I think I found something new. Yeah.
There's a lot of covers of it. Just the song Rock, Salt, and Nails.
Mhm.
Country folk guys do it. I've never heard a bad version of it. So
Yeah.
that one's always pretty solid.
Yeah.
Tyler Childers might be the best or the most well-known cover of that song. I'll stop.
Okay.
We need a 3 from you, though. Let's get a 3 from you.
Oh yeah. Definitely. Holy Diver cover
Kill
by
Switch.
Kill Switch Engage. Yep. No Ordinary Love cover by the Deftones. That was a good one. Did you hear that girl last night when it was silent in there? She goes, hey, does anyone like the Deftones? I was like, well, yeah, we all like the Deftones.
We have a friend that cries every time he listens to Deftones.
Really?
We have kind of a joke about it, so it's funny that you brought it up.
I mean, they're kind of melodic. I mean, yeah.
I think it's just because he's a weenie, but
Okay.
Love you, Mitch.
Let's see here. See, I have a list on my phone, so.
so you're cheating.
No. The Joe Jackson cover, "Got the Time" by Anthrax. That was an awesome. Everyone thought that was one of their original songs, and it was actually a cover
Yeah.
of a Joe Jackson. Now, how they got influenced by Joe Jackson, I have no idea.
It's New Yorkers. Like,
Yeah.
they're
I'm a
probably-
huge
yeah, I'm sure
Anthrax
they're
fan. I
influenced by
was
it.
talking to Blood Ritual
Yeah.
last night, which it was cool having that like thrash band in there in the mix when, all the doom rock bands and then you throw in a thrash band and it kind of got everyone fired up. But yeah, we were talking about thrash and there's not the past few thrash shows I've gone to here in Charlotte. I guess there's not a thrash scene here in town anymore, man. It's like the place is empty. Doom shows or sludge shows, they're always packed. So yeah.
I feel like it's almost the opposite back home.
Yeah.
Like the doom scene is like it used to be very strong, and then like the greater metal scene is. I don't know because I expected you to
not my
chime in
fault.
or argue with me.
I didn't do it.
But the greater metal scene in like our area tends to be pretty strong, but the doom scene is kind of niche,
Yeah. Well, are you two married?
Engaged,
Okay.
unfortunately.
Oh, wow.
No,
We're still looking for a singer.
Yeah.
Oh.
see if you had told me ahead of time that like before 5 seconds ago that we had to pick the cover songs, I could have sounded like I had a lot better taste in music.
Hey, on the cover thing, honorable mention, Rob Halford's cover of Man on the Silver Mountain is fire.
Yes. See, I meant to tell you last night, and I kept telling myself, go tell them I got to do 3 cover songs, because a lot of bands panic. They're like, oh wait,
Yeah, I panicked for sure.
Yeah.
I literally said Disturbed.
There's also Opeth does Remember Tomorrow by Iron Maiden, and that's fucking awesome.
Yes.
That's awesome.
So does Metallica.
Oh, really? I'll have to see that, but I'll say Opeth probably does it better.
Also does what's that Nirvana song that they do?
Oh, they did Wood too by Alice in Chains.
They did Nirvana cover too.
Oh, really?
The fuck was that song? Yeah, it's fucking killer. It's actually better than I think the Nirvana one.
Well, it's Opeth, of course.
I can probably agree with that.
Yeah. I mean, how do you guys feel about Nirvana?
I don't like Nirvana.
No.
I did when I was 12, but
Kurt Cobain's my hero.
Yeah.
I'm glad he's dead.
Oh, damn. Wow.
Dave killed him.
I was looking at you ready for that. Robbie has very strong emotions about Nirvana.
I also feel like when the last Beatle dies, the world will heal.
Wow.
Hot take.
There's still 2 left, right? Yeah.
I don't really.
They're
Wait a
more,
minute,
they're
wait a
more
minute.
like cockroaches than beetles, it seems like.
Oh, wow. I'm glad Amanda's not here tonight.
I
Yeah.
was thinking the same thing.
Nobody should ever really get too in depth.
Please don't stop listening to my band.
On musical opinions with Robbie.
Yeah, those are fighting words.
I'm very opinionated. You don't have to agree with it.
That's all right. That's all right. I think it's funny how Nirvana T-shirts have become a trend with people that don't even know a single note from Nirvana, but they love those shirts, man.
Ever since Walmart started selling them.
Yeah,
I feel like that's like Grateful Dead and the Misfits. They're
my daughter's friends came over to the house. She had like a little gathering in the backyard, and one kid showed up with a Misfits shirt on. I was like, "Oh hell yeah, Misfits!" He's like, "Huh?" I was like, "Okay." And then this other kid showed up with a Ghost shirt on, and I was like, "Fuck yeah, you guys got good taste in music." They're like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "Your shirts, those are bands." They're like, "Oh, I didn't know that." I'm like, "And by the way, you got an upside down cross on your chest. I don't know if you realize that. Ghost is a satanic band." They're like, "Oh, I didn't know that." I'm like, "Yeah."
Fucking hot topic, man.
Shit, JCPenney sells that shit.
Yeah. Do you guys like Ghost? Are you guys fans of Ghost at all?
not really.
No. I mean, they have become a cover band now because I mean all their albums, their past 2 albums are almost entirely covers.
Really?
Yes. The last one that they put out was they did a Genesis cover, a Tina Turner cover.
Wow.
And there's one more cover on that album too. I forget what it was, but I'm like, wow, what's going on with Ghost? Why are they doing all these covers now? So
this is random, but do you remember what the Weed Demon cover was that they just released?
Frank Zappa, Willie the Pimp.
Oh,
That's a fucking good cover.
Check that out,
That's Weed Demon is some of our label mates from out in Ohio.
I think you just got your job back.
It was really fun. We got to see them do it live, and Robbie was like, "What the fuck?" That's so like it was just really out of left field. But they just released it as a single recently.
There's no coming back from Weezer.
I don't know. Weezer, all right. Disturbed.
It was the Disturbed one that was bad. I actually just did that to piss him off because I already knew.
I mean, when that band first came out, they were killer, man. But you know, I'm one of those dudes. Once a band gets big, I'm done with them. So, and my wife makes fun of me. She goes, "It's still the same band. It's still." I'm like, no, not if this kid at Hot Topic's going to buy a damn corn. I used to call them the corn kids. You know that they always. Corn shirt, Slipknot shirt with the big old pants and the spiked hair.
The children of the corn, if you will.
The corn kids.
All over again.
Jinkos forever.
Corn was one of the loudest shows I've ever been to, though. So I used to work for a record store, and I got to go backstage because Stained opened for him. I got to go meet Stained. Aaron Lewis is an asshole. He
doesn't just play one on TV.
No, he was a real asshole. But then Korn came out that night. I mean, I didn't pay for the show. It was free. I got to go backstage and all that shit. So Korn came out, and then I guess, what was that, 98? 99, 98?
It was about the time Follow the Leader was coming out.
Yes. Yeah. That was one of the loudest. That's probably the second loudest show I've ever been to. The loudest one was,
I think the first loudest is
AC/DC.
probably Overkill, seen over at the Fillmore.
you know what, dude?
Overkill and X Order.
Yes, dude.
And that was awesome.
Overkill's coming through to Atlanta
Yeah, I've
with
seen that. My buddy's trying to get with King Diamond.
King Diamond.
King Diamond,
yes.
dude. Yeah.
That's one of my favorite bands. Is Overkill.
Dude, I'm going to really try to make it to that show, man.
That's not Avenged Sevenfold.
Oh, yeah.
That's what you
See,
think.
dude.
Fuck you.
Yeah, well, I have a whole arm of music
Same.
tattoos too, man. So yeah, Bad Brains and Faith No More. Yeah.
Hell yeah. And I think Septic Flesh is probably the first loudest band I've ever seen in my life. All 3 times I've seen them, they destroyed my eardrums.
Really? Wow. Yeah. I mean, like I was saying earlier, I got to start wearing earplugs because for like 2 or 3 days after a show, I can't hear shit. Like my wife will be downstairs calling me. I don't hear it. And she'll say, "Hey, I'm talking to you, huh?"
We didn't wear earplugs for the longest time, but once we started playing as much as we do now, Robbie and I were like, look, like, we can't just be screaming at each other all the time because we're both going deaf. So
What?
what?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I know that they make like certain ones just for concerts so that you still get like the full sound, but it's not muffled. They, yeah,
They're pretty cool. They it doesn't destroy the sound, like you can still hear perfectly. It just makes everything a little bit quieter.
all right, yeah. How much are those things?
It doesn't really, it doesn't diminish the quality. I will
These are
say
the off-brand of the good ones, but they work just as well.
Okay.
I haven't been able
They're
to
good.
sing and wear them at the same time, which kind of sucks. So whenever we're on stage, I just get deafened by their amps anyway. But if we're just listening to other bands, it's good.
And thank you guys for letting a few other bands use your guys' shit last night.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
That was awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Anything to make it easier, and it is real cramped in that bar when everybody's got full stacks. And
I felt bad when it was starting to rain outside and everyone's gear was outside. I'm like, oh. And when you texted me, rain's on the way. It rained while I forget who was on stage, but by the time the rain stopped, the band was done, and we all got to go back outside again. So it was perfect. Yeah. And I was the only guy with a rag in my pocket to wipe off my seat so I didn't get water over my ass. I carry a rag with myself all the time because I fucking sweat like a pig, man.
I feel that.
Yeah.
I do too.
Seismic Summer was just super rad. I'm so glad we got to be a part of that.
Yeah. Everyone kept asking why Bog Loaf was not on that because, I mean, that's perfect for them. But
I think it was, I had actually talked to Doob about it, and he said it was because they had a show either a few weeks before or a few weeks after, and he was like, we had already agreed to that.
I think they had just played the week before.
That's what it was. But Doob was there, and he was working, and I think the other guys were there too, weren't they?
Layton was there.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Someone thought Ernest was in Bog Loaf last night.
You were for a minute.
Yeah, we're all of us fat boys with beards look the same.
Like,
Yeah,
I fit the profile, but I'm
yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. Who writes your guys' songs for you?
Lyrics or music?
Both.
She handles the lyrics, and the 3 of us get real stoned and just start jamming stuff. Like, we don't actually sit down to write music. We just play.
Okay.
And try to remember the good shit.
All right. Do you record while you're out jamming?
If it's really good, we do, but sometimes we just shit out ideas.
I mean, do you record your jam session so if you come along something that you played and you liked it, you don't know?
Sometimes.
Robbie says that if the riff was good enough that he will remember it.
Okay.
Keep in mind, he gets so stoned.
I was gonna say, even if you're stoned, yeah.
But the good ones I remember.
Sometimes, yeah.
Or I at least get close.
Wyndrider smoked all their weed too, so
Yeah, we did that.
We do that a lot.
The songwriting process for us, though, it's definitely riffs first. And I'll just sit there and like listen to them go. Literally, I always say if you put them in a room together for 20 minutes, they've written a whole song. and it keeps me on my toes. And whenever I hear that they sound like they're coming up with something that's not, it's not going to be forgotten the next time we have practice, I'll just go ahead and start writing and like seeing where it goes. But we really don't actually have very much of a process. It's very like free flowing.
I feel like if we sit down and actually like try to write and structure a song, one song would take us forever because we're just going to be like, oh, we could add this part in. We could switch this.
It'd be like it's 50 minutes long.
Flow through it, Just whatever happens.
Do you guys practice at home or do you guys have a studio that you?
We practice at my house.
Okay.
Yeah.
Johnson City. I've never been there.
Johnson City's all right. We moved the fuck back to the mountains. We lived in Johnson City for a while.
Yeah.
Which it's nice to have close by, but I don't want to fucking live there.
Yeah. I've heard.
I like to live in the woods.
I've heard good things and bad things about it.
It's a weird city for sure. And these days it's getting so like gentrified, but also, I feel like crime rates are kind of going up. Like it's getting real sketchy.
That's how it is.
In like kind of a fun and exciting way, but also obviously problematic. But yeah, we live out, 20-minute drive that way out in the countryside, and we choose to come to Johnson City to do things instead of having to be stuck there.
I've been to a lot of cities, and I feel like they're all the same.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, they're just shaped different.
They get there eventually.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that Knox County?
Washington County.
Okay, I was going to ask you how you like having Kane.
Or we could say it Tennessee way,
your
Washington.
I like Knoxville better than Johnson City.
Yeah.
I'm sure Kane probably sucks as a governor.
Yeah.
I think all the priests and politicians should just be handcuffed together and set on fire.
Yeah. I like it. Yeah. Yeah.
I told you I'm opinionated.
This is why we don't do podcasts very often.
It's all right. We've had a lot of shit said on this podcast that's fighting words for other people, so that's all right.
Bet nobody talks shit about the Beatles.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Sweet, I'm not the only one.
Yeah. Talk shit about
with the man as the host.
About Elvis. We talk shit about Elvis. We talk shit about
fuck Elvis.
Yeah, fuck Elvis.
I will give George Harrison a pass on the Beatles thing. I really like the Traveling Wilburys.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
wait, do you like him better than Paul?
Fuck yeah.
Oh well, okay, all right.
Yeah.
I like his Beatles songs better.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I guess I like Paul's shit solo better than I like him with the Beatles. With Wings.
Wings does have some jams. It's just like the collective Beatles together.
Mm-hmm.
It pisses me off.
They were very overrated.
Yeah.
Black Sabbath influenced more bands than the Beatles ever will.
Yes.
But if you talk to Ozzy Osbourne,
yeah.
his biggest influence is the Beatles.
Yeah, he's gay for the Beatles.
Yeah. Big old dragonfly that just landed on the wall behind us there.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I definitely do think the Beatles is overrated. And I grew up listening to the Beatles. Like my mom loved them, but I don't see it. I guess it's like the Grateful Dead thing. Like people passionately follow the Grateful Dead. Right. I do not fucking get it.
Also, fuck Jerry Garcia.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I'm not a big Fish or Grateful Dead or Widespread Panic. I'm not a big.
No,
I hate that shit, but I did do some
ICP.
Don't get me started on ICP.
Yes.
I am a juggalo. I will say that.
Okay.
Whoop, whoop. Yeah.
This guy over here is definitely a juggalo.
I
I've
don't care if you're
I've got pictures of him with the face paint on it.
Right.
That sing bullshit, you know. So.
Matter of fact, this weekend was a gathering of the Juggalos.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I've never been. I'll never go.
Either.
I'm sorry. I don't like that.
My wife used to be a ring girl for ICP.
Well, I'm sorry, what?
My wife used to be a ring girl for ICP.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've seen ICP a million times. Matter of fact, I think the last time I saw it, we were talking about Ground Zero in Spartanburg.
Oh, yeah.
That's the last time I saw
Yeah,
him.
I was trying to make it to that, but it didn't happen.
Well, no, the last time I saw him down there, Two Live Crew opened for him.
Oh, shit. They came to Johnson City one time and they got barred because it's Two Live Crew.
I do
If you
like
know
the
Two Live Crew,
JCW shit. I'm a huge wrestling fan.
Oh, let's talk about it, dude.
Yeah.
I am too.
JCW gives ICP a pass
Yeah.
for me. I'm not into the music.
Lama Nama Numi.
What?
Lama Nama Numi.
I have no idea what that is.
Have you ever watched Stranglemania?
I don't think so.
Oh, dude, you got to find that.
Yeah,
that's the real shit.
Yeah, that's when they get these old Japanese death matches.
Yeah,
and they do commentary over them, their own commentary. You know, there's two big fat guys wrestling. They're like, it's Ponderosa versus Sweetenhouse. Terry Funk and Cactus Jack and
that exploding barbed wire.
And they're like Cactus Sack and drunk Terry Funk. That shit was hilarious. What is it? Guido in 3D. Yeah, that's that dude.
I have to check that.
You gotta find that, man. I'm not sure if it's on YouTube or not. I've got the videotape at home, and I found it not too long ago. I was like, oh shit, Stranglemania. I don't have a VCR anymore, so I can't watch this.
I think it's JCW Volume 3 that I have on DVD.
Is it in green?
Yeah.
Yeah. I own that on
I bought that
videotape too.
A long time ago when Bad CDs was still open in Johnson City.
Oh man,
so it was
isn't
way
that the
back.
one where King Kong Bunny's on there and they're like, the giant penis is in the ring. The giant penis head is in the ring. Violent J's been doing a lot of wrestling here around town too. So he went up to Winston-Salem and did some death match with them.
Is it like the XPWs
It's
stuff?
LW something. I forget what it was, but he was like the guest ring enforcer for that night. So he came out, you know, he had George South with him. He had Rock and Roll Express, and they all came out with face paint on and JCW jerseys on.
I could see Ricky Morton dressed as a juggalo.
Yeah, it was funny. I was like, oh my God, this is weird. But they had won. There was a lot of blood in the match, and it was awesome. That was the night I met Kurt Angle in the bathroom. I walked in. I'm like, oh, hey, Kurt. He's like, hey, what's happening, man? That was weird. I wonder what the score is over there. So the owner of this place.
I've been kind of watching through the screen over here to see what's going on.
Normally here on Sundays, well, they don't normally open until 2:00. But every Sunday here, if you guys are ever running and you guys want to have some phenomenal tiki drinks, Jeremy, the guy who was on the podcast 2 episodes ago, is he here? That's Jeremy's Tiki Bar on Sundays.
Oh, nice.
That dude makes a mean Mai Tai. He'll knock you on your ass. Matter of fact, when
You're talking about somebody who plays in 20 different bands.
Yeah,
That's the dude.
that's the guy right there. Yeah. Matter of fact, when we had Boggle Ove on the episode, I drank 2 Mai Tais before the podcast started. And I'm sitting here right where I am now, and I'm like, I'm fucking drunk. Yeah, they were fun to have on the podcast. Not much to say, but it was fun to have them on there, though.
Oh yeah.
I think that they were all really stoned before they came on.
I'm surprised
Dude's
these.
number one forever.
Yeah.
I love that guy.
Yeah, they were kind of like,
We did that last time on a podcast that we did a couple months ago.
Yeah.
We got really high and didn't say shit.
Yeah.
Are you talking about clean and sober? Yeah, clean and sober stoner. Everybody's just sitting there like.
Yeah, it was funny. The first time I talked to you, we were talking about the band and all the weed. She goes, "That's them, not me."
I have to preface with that because people will come up to me with like giant fat blunts all the time and they're like, well, Wyndrider smoked all my weed. I'm like, 3 out of 4. Like go find the guys.
Do you guys hotbox when you're driving down?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah. I was just watching Cheech and Chong again. The first 15 minutes of Up in Smoke is by far one of my favorite movies of all time.
I think we're parked.
Yeah. Hey man, how am I driving? Hey, I think we're parked, man.
Do you want to just talk about last night when you were waiting outside the hotel with the van and it wasn't parked?
Oh yeah. Speaking of hotboxing, she goes in, get the room card or whatever. We're sitting in the van and me and Brock are just bullshitting. And I look up, I was like, hey, dude, we're moving. And I was like, oh, shit. I'm in control.
Oh, shit.
Hey, man, we're moving. Oh, wait, I'm the driver.
A reverse Cheech and Chong moment.
But there's that scene where they're smoking that big joint and they're driving down the street and there's smoke's rolling out of the car. And my wife goes, did you ever do that? I'm like, a million times, yeah.
I want to steal their idea and put the giant rolling paper in our next records.
Oh, dude, yeah.
We sell rolling papers anyway. Like, we sell packs of rolling papers. I saw that last night, yeah. So, like, to do a vinyl with one huge one in it, I think would be
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I inherited my stepdad's record collection, he had the best of Cheech and Chong. And on that cover is that big joint and on the field with the mower. But it came with rolling papers.
Huge paper.
So me and my buddies, we stole it. We actually used it. He never noticed. I still have that record at home. So
that's awesome.
Basketball Jones. Got a basketball Jones. Earache My Eye. I did not know. Speaking of covers, Korn did a cover of Earache My Eye on
I didn't know that.
Follow the Leader.
We have some friends from Knoxville, Hag Bastard, that do a cover of that song.
Yeah, really.
They also do Alice in Chains Wood too, and they do pretty good at it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Korn did that?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, sounds pretty
Korn, good. Korn's cover of that Pink Floyd song.
The
Wall.
Yeah, that was awesome. Then when they did the cover of One.
Yeah, they do great covers.
That was a great. Yeah, Bugs. Yeah.
Got it.
That was a great cover as well. I'm not a huge fan of Korn, but that was, they kicked ass on that one. Yeah, well, I guess that's it then. Yeah. You guys have anything else you guys want to talk about?
If you haven't already and you would be so kind, check us out on Bandcamp.
Where can people find your merch? Where can people?
Bandcamp. That's probably the best place to access anything for Wyndrider. We have our music everywhere. Okay. But the first album we did, we only put the full album on Bandcamp with only like select songs everywhere else. So everything's on Bandcamp, merch stores there. Yeah.
I went to go check in your new record on Discogs and it's not on there.
On Discogs? Mm-hmm. Oh, so it's not everywhere.
First one's
just
on there.
Most places.
No, I mean that's just a app where you can keep track of all of your vinyl. But yeah, it's the first one's on there, but the new one isn't on there. So
I don't know. Yeah. Well, we got Spotify and iTunes and all kinds of other shit. But yeah, I always plug Bandcamp anyway. I feel like they do really good by artists.
Yeah, they do.
And so.
Yep. I have that app on my phone. You can buy concert tickets on that thing. You can buy music. You can buy everything on there. So yeah.
Hell yeah.
All right. Well, thanks, guys.
Thank you,
thanks
man.
for coming on.
Thank you,
have a safe drive to wherever you go. To Georgia.
Georgia.
You're gonna eat some peaches.
Yeah. You guys are gonna head down 85, so you'll see that big peach in Gaffney. Yeah.
Looks like a giant butt.
It does. Everyone says that. Yeah, it's just a big butt with like a hemorrhoid sticking out.
There's a giant pistachio in I think it's in New Mexico that we saw going out that way, and it's pretty similar to a butt with a hemorrhoid too.
How far have you guys traveled with the band? I mean, have you guys been out to California and played out there? No,
with the band, we've gone as far as Texas.
Okay.
We played in
New York.
Yeah, Texas, and then northern ways up to New York and down to Florida. So like covered a decent amount of this half of the U.S., but we are looking to do better and go further when we can.
Cool.
Our van is shitty. It's a little scary to take it super long distances, but we're
Don't say that.
working on it. No, she's beautiful. She's great. And she's not going to break down and leave us stranded anywhere. But
Make sure it's in park wherever you go.
yeah,
Especially if it's on.
Yeah.
but no, we'll get out there more one day for sure.
Cool. All right, guys. Safe travels. Thanks for coming on. We'll see you guys. Any word of when you'll be back in town again?
Not at the moment, but we will be back soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
A huge shout out to our gracious host, Tommy's Pub. Located at 3124 East Wade Drive, Tommy's Pub is a small neighborhood bar that's big on music and community. Go to Tommy's Pub's Facebook page where they regularly provide updates about upcoming events to include weekly open mic night, karaoke, and live music from some of the best up-and-coming bands in the Queen City. Thank you, Tommy's Pub, for hosting ImVibes Podcast.
Thank you for listening to ImVibes Podcast, home of good music, good libations, and good vibes. Please like, rate, and subscribe to ImVibes Podcast on your favorite listening platform. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, consider supporting ImVibes Podcast with a small monthly donation to help sustain future episodes. You can find the link on our Spotify show page. Email us at imvibespodcast@gmail.com if you would like to be a guest or have an idea for a guest we should interview. ImVibes Podcast is produced by BWM Productions.
Opinions and views expressed by guests are not necessarily the opinions or views of the ImVibes team or BWM Productions.